My name is Sherry Wentworth and I work on the Bundoora campus. We're looking at the ways of learning anatomy. One of the ways we help you to learn anatomy is by the use of the idea of fact, concept and principle. Before I go into detail on these ideas, we need to review what is anatomy. So just to remind you, anatomy is the study of the structure of the body in relation to its function. There are a number of ways of looking at anatomy. Your textbook, Marieb and Hohen, looks at systematic anatomy, which is what we'll do for the first 8 weeks of semester. We'll be looking at the skeletal system and the muscular system. So the first 4 weeks we'll look at the musculoskeletal system and how that functions. The next 4 weeks we'll look at the nervous system. In the last 4 weeks of semester we'll combine all these systems, the cardiovascular, the nervous, the organs of the body, the digestive system. We'll look at all those in relation to a region of the body, the trunk. We'll look at the back and we'll look at how the organs fit within the ventral or anterior body cavities. We'll look at how they function. So another way of looking at anatomy, functional anatomy. To understand some of the aspects we're looking at, you'll need to do a little bit of embryology. In other words, the development of the body. In the first couple of weeks we need to look at the structure of the organs and the tissues we're looking at. We'll look at histology. So this picture shows a section of bone, looking at the structure of the bone. Within anatomy there are a number of ways of viewing the body. You can look at the outside of the body or you can look at the inside of the body via slides showing sections of tissue, as in histology, or via medical imaging. So here we see an image of the vertebral column taken via an MRI. We'll look at different ways of imaging the body. So how do we help you in studying anatomy? We use the ideas of fact, concepts and principles, as I've indicated. I'll be going through each of these separately. So fact is what it sounds like. It's a fact, a bit of information. So it's isolated. An observation or a statement about a structure, a body part, or an event, so something happening. An example of this would be a muscle. So there's a muscle in the body called quadriceps femoris. There are 206 bones in the body. Muscles contract. They're all facts. They're isolated though. They don't help you understand how the body works. They don't convey a lot of information at all that links the structure to its function. So concepts, anatomical concepts. We're looking at the idea of structures or groups of structures or events that have common defining characteristics. So we can look at the idea of what's it made of? What are the components that make it up? Where is it? What are the relationships? Where does it fit in the body? Why is it there? Why do we need this structure? So if I go back and look at quadriceps and look at it as a concept, thinking about what, where, why, I have the idea of it's a skeletal muscle. It has 4 parts. It's found in the front of the thigh or in the anterior of the thigh, and it'll cross over the knee joint and it'll cross that anteriorly. Therefore, its function, why it's there, is it will cause the knee joint to move. It will cause the knee joint to move anteriorly or in the movement called extension. So this gives you much more information about a simple name, quadriceps. You now have an idea of where it is, why it's there. You can start to get a visualization of it, a picture if you like. We also need to think about, is there another way of helping us learn all these individual bits of information? We can link information. We can use bits of information and generalize them. You'll find within the body bits of information are repeated. We can repeat the ideas from the upper limb to the lower limb. So we have principles, generalizations about patterns that keep recurring, where we have an association of concepts that occur in different parts of the body. One of the principles that you would have met is that the structure reflects its function. So if we think about the knee joint, movement occurs in a sagittal plane, and we'll have a talk about sagittal planes later on, and movements can be either anterior or posterior direction. The principle gives a guideline which can be applied in a number of different locations in different parts of the body where the same association of structures or events occur. So if we're looking at a joint in the upper limb, the elbow joint, having a similar structure, it can move in an anterior and a posterior direction as well. So we can generalise and look at different parts of the body. Again, referring back to the student manual if you're not sure about this information. One of the things we ask you to do is think about these ideas and relate them to another idea. So, from your general knowledge, consider the following. We have a heart. So that's the fact. It's an example of an internal organ. I want you to think about the heart as a concept. What do you know about it? So think about what is it, where is it, why is it? And then apply the principle structure reflects function to the heart. To do this, I want you to actually stop this recording at this stage and have a go at the questions. Then come back and we'll continue the presentation after you've had a go. So, having had a go at that, thinking about the heart as a fact, I've told you, we're looking at the heart, that's the fact. Thinking about it as a concept and applying principles. So hopefully we came up with the ideas of, already given, the heart is a fact, it's an example of an internal organ. As a concept, you would have met last year that it's a hollow organ and has walls composed of cardiac muscle. Where is it? It's located in the thoracic cavity, or one of the anterior body cavities. Why is it there? It pumps blood around the body. You went into the ideas of how it does that. I'm just interested in the fact that it does. So if we then think about a principle applying the structure that reflects that function, we can think about the idea of the hollow chambers of the heart will fill with blood which is pumped around the body by contraction of its muscular walls. So the structure, hollow with muscular walls, means it will pump the blood around the body as those muscles contract. Therefore, we've applied structure reflects function.